You are listening to Connection Quest, where every episode is a heartwarming journey to unravel the mysteries of love, intimacy, and the art of meaningful relationships. Join Miku as he explores the real, sometimes messy, always meaningful paths to building stronger, more vibrant romantic bonds. Forget quick fixes. We're digging into the heart of connection, understanding, communication, intimacy, and growing together. Ready to deepen your relationship journey? Let's
Hey
begin.
everyone, welcome back to Connection Quest, the show where we dive deep into the intricacies of romantic relationships. I'm Miku, your host, and today we're going to explore a topic that I think many of you will find fascinating and perhaps a little bit haunting: how the ghosts of our past can show up in our current relationships and what we can do to lay them to rest. Joining me today is the wonderful Dr. Bora Sayek, a celebrated author and expert in social psychology and cultural sociology. Welcome back, Bora.
Thanks, Miku. It's always a pleasure to be here and engage in these enriching conversations. Today's topic is something I find particularly compelling because so many of us carry these ghosts without even realizing it. Our past experiences, whether we like it or not, tend to linger in the background of our romantic partnerships.
Absolutely, Bora. It's like we're bringing these invisible suitcases into every relationship we enter. These aren't just physical suitcases, but emotional and psychological ones that contain all our past experiences, traumas, and even past joys. All these influence how we react to situations, how we communicate, and even how we argue. Would you mind sharing a bit on how you see this manifesting generally in relationships?
Of course, what you're describing is incredibly common. To give a bit of context, many people, when entering a relationship, think they're starting with a clean slate, but in reality, no one truly comes in without history. We might have had experiences in previous relationships that have taught us specific lessons, some helpful and others not so much. For instance, if someone was cheated on in the past, they might carry a lingering mistrust into new relationships, even if their new partner hasn't done anything to warrant that suspicion. These kinds of unconscious triggers are like ticking time bombs, unless we become aware of them and work through them.
Exactly. And I think it's important to note that awareness doesn't mean we're immune to these reactions. Awareness just opens the door for us to confront and handle them better. Let me ask you this, Bora. Why do you think some people seem to move from one messy relationship to another without seeming to find resolution? Is this tied into our topic on past baggage?
That's a great question, Miku. What I often find is that it's a pattern rooted in unresolved issues from the past. People inadvertently replay the same story, often as an attempt to achieve a different outcome, albeit unconsciously. It's sort of like they're hoping the new relationship will provide the healing they haven't been able to give themselves. But until you address the root cause, which often requires introspection and sometimes professional guidance, you end up with the same results.
That's such an enlightening perspective. I know I'm definitely guilty of trying to rewrite my past through new relationships. At one point, I had to face the uncomfortable truth that I was treating each new relationship like an eraser for past mistakes, rather than embracing them as learning experiences. In your view, what's a practical first step someone can take to start identifying these ghosts that might be haunting them?
I would say the first step is self-reflection. And I mean going beyond surface-level introspection. We're talking about deep reflection. You could set aside some dedicated time each week to really dive into your past experiences. Journaling is an excellent tool for this because it allows you to lay everything out in front of you. Once you've started to notice patterns, say, in the way you tend to respond to conflict or assert boundaries, that's when you start to recognize where these patterns might have originated. Therapy can also play a significant role in facilitating healthy introspection, but journaling is a great place to start.
I love that suggestion. Journaling has this way of coaxing out thoughts that are buried deep in our subconscious, I find. It's like having a conversation with the wisest part of yourself. But let's shift gears for a bit and talk about a scenario that's perhaps less frequently discussed. Imagine someone who's aware of their baggage yet feels paralyzed by it. They know it exists, but they can't seem to move past it. What advice would you offer them?
That's a challenging situation, but not uncommon. Awareness is crucial, yet it's just one piece of the puzzle. Moving past paralysis often involves taking actionable steps, however small they might seem. One effective strategy can be breaking down perceived insurmountable actions into smaller, manageable tasks. For example, if they're working on trust issues, perhaps they start by openly expressing a small vulnerability to their partner and observing their response. Gradually, as they witness their partner's consistent trustworthiness, these baby steps work collectively to build a larger bridge towards healing.
Right. And those small victories can act as substantial affirmations that it's safe to take even larger steps. It's like anything else in life, confidence builds with practice. I remember a time when one of my friends faced a similar issue. They had serious doubts about their worth from a previous abusive relationship, and being able to vocalize even small feelings was terrifying. But over time, as they did little things like sending affectionate texts and openly communicating their needs, they began feeling more secure and loved in the relationship.
That's a really powerful example. It showcases how emotional safety plays a pivotal role in these healing processes. Partners can't always understand the baggage we carry, but they can certainly offer a safe space for us to work through it. And I would add that being open with a partner about your struggles and your desire to move past them can create a shared objective. It's as if you're two architects building a brand new, stronger foundation together.
That visual of being architects really resonates, Bora. It's such a wonderful way to describe the collaborative effort that healthy relationships require. Let's touch on something a bit different now. So, we've established that some people recognize their patterns and try to change, but others don't even realize they're dragging this baggage around. It can be much trickier to resolve when you don't even see it. What are some signs that might indicate someone is indeed carrying past baggage?
Sorting out those invisible strings can be complicated, but there are usually telltale signs. Insecure attachment styles are a big indicator. For example, someone might exhibit signs of avoidance or anxiety in their relationship patterns, always fearing abandonment or struggling to maintain intimacy. Another clue could be disproportionate reactions to seemingly minor issues. If you find yourself overreacting to situations that wouldn't warrant that kind of response, it's time to look deeper. Reflect on why these specific instances provoke such strong feelings, and often they'll lead back to past experiences that left a mark.
I think we've all been there at one point or another. Whether you're aware of it or not, something small sets you off and it's like you've suddenly become a different person. Often, it's in those moments of confrontation that old patterns rear their heads, isn't it?
Absolutely. And it's in navigating those emotional upheavals that we tend to be so revealing. Let's not forget that these past experiences also influence the lens through which we view love and partnership itself. If someone has been abandoned, they may interpret a partner needing space as a prelude to rejection instead of a healthy boundary. It's about perspective shaped by previous narratives.
That makes perfect sense. And as we gain awareness, the goal is not so much to erase these narratives, but to reframe how we see them and learn from them. I find this aspect of relationships both terrifying and exhilarating. We're always learning, aren't we? Whether consciously or not, every interaction teaches us something new about either ourselves or those we're entangled with.
Precisely. Realizing that our past experiences don't have to dictate our present actions can be liberating. Relationships, at their best, are journeys that enrich our understanding of love. They help us identify not just who we are, but who we strive to become. And in a way, facing these ghosts is itself a profound act of love.
That's beautifully put, Bora. As we near the end of this enlightening conversation, what advice would you give to our listeners on maintaining healthy relationships despite having personal ghosts?
I'd encourage listeners to embrace vulnerability, even when it seems daunting. It's the gateway to deeper connection. It's also crucial to allow compassion for yourself and your partner, the space to grow. Everyone brings something with them, and your partner may have battles of their own. Communication is key. Share your journey and make way for a collective endeavor to understand each other's stories. That creates not just a supportive relationship, but a partnership where growth is mutual and aims are shared.
Thank you, Bora, for sharing your wisdom with us today. This conversation has been incredibly insightful. I hope everyone listening feels empowered to begin confronting their own ghosts with the tools and insights you've provided. If our past episodes have taught us anything, It's that relationships are incredibly complex, multi-layered experiences that deserve thoughtful exploration. We're so grateful to have you guide us through this part of the journey.
It was my pleasure, Miku. And thank you for creating a platform where such an important dialogue about relationships can thrive. Until next time, everybody take care, and remember, every step towards understanding your past brings you closer to the healthy, vibrant relationship you deserve.